The last few weeks of my life have honestly felt like every emotion possible, all happening at once. Fear, stress, trauma, growth, gratitude, exhaustion, healing, happiness, sadness, hope. And I think what's been hitting me the most lately is realizing that everybody in this world is carrying something heavy. Even when the people who look completely fine on the outside, in our own way. And sometimes people don't even realize how much they've been carrying until life forces them to stop and look at it. I think that's what happened to me. Life kind of cracked me open in the last few weeks. My dad got very sick. There were surgeries, fear, hospitals, uncertainty, financial stress, family stress, all while trying to be a mom, a wife, keep life moving forward for everyone else around me. And somewhere in all of that, I realized I couldn't keep stuffing everything down and anymore, pretending I was fine. A lot of people live like that, I think. Um, Survival mode becomes normal. And the scary part is you don't even realize how disconnected from yourself you become until you finally actually slow down. I started really paying attention to my nervous system, my reactions, my anxiety, my anger, even the physical tension I carry constantly. My jaw clenched, my stomach tight all the time, and my mind racing. I realized that my body basically has been screaming at me for years to slow down and listen. The body really does hold everything we don't let ourselves feel. It keeps a record of all of those things we've pushed through. And I didn't understand that for a long time. I just thought being strong meant pushing through, just keep moving. Don't cry, don't slow down, handle it. But that's not strength, that's avoidance, dressed up as productivity. And your body eventually calls you out on it. Mine's been calling me out for years, and I kept ignoring it. So, I mean, honestly, I started talking, really talking, not just surface level conversations, but deep, honest ones about my life, my childhood, and my fears, habits, grief, patterns, everything. I started realizing how much of who we become is shaped by what we grew up around. Um, Watching fighting chaos, fear, learning to stay hyper alert all the time, feeling like you always had to emotionally survive something, that kind of stuff stays in the body. It really does. And for the first time in my life, I stopped trying to win against myself and I started trying to understand myself instead. I'm not perfect at it, not even close. I struggle. And if I'm being completely honest, I'm currently trying to quit smoking marijuana because I know it became more of an emotional escape than something healthy for me. And I made it a few days without it and then I smoked again. But instead of hating myself for it, I'm trying to respond differently. I'm trying to learn compassion towards myself instead of punishment. That's still progress. At least I'd like to think. Um, and honestly, I'm proud of myself for trying. And that's something I never used to say. I used to constantly judge myself, criticize, compare myself. But lately, I'm catching those patterns more, especially with my children. I notice myself speaking more gently, encouraging, and more supportive. I catch myself before I react the way I used to. Even though I still mess up, I can feel the shift happening. And that awareness matters, especially as a parent, more than anything, because I want my children to feel emotionally safe. I want them to feel loved, supported, protected, and understood. Because I know what it feels like to not have that, to grow up feeling like you had to manage your emotions alone, like your feelings were too much or too inconvenient. And I don't want that for my kids. I want them to grow up knowing that whatever they feel is okay. They can bring it to me, and I'm not going to fall apart. I'm not going to dismiss them. I'm not going to be not there. That's cycle breaking right there in real time. Um, One moment that really hit me emotionally recently was when my daughter was panicking over her loose tooth hanging out of her mouth. She asked me to make her a podcast to help her get it through it. And I thought, I just stopped because in that moment, I realized, like, wow, she saw what I was doing with all of this and she believed that it could help her. A 9-year-old asking for a calm down podcast. And something in me just cracked open because I thought, wow, maybe I can, or I am creating something healing, not just for myself, but my kids too. That's powerful. And then completely out of nowhere, I started my own podcast, which honestly feels insane because I'm so far out of my comfort zone doing this. But it feels freeing. Like I finally found somewhere for all the thoughts and emotions inside of me to go. Talking things out feels like releasing years of stagnant energy trapped in my body. So, this podcast isn't really about having all the answers. No, not at all. It's actually the opposite. It's about being human, struggling, healing, falling apart sometimes, learning yourself, trying again. It's about realizing you're not broken just because life affected you deeply. And maybe if someone listens to this whole or this whole podcast sitting in their car, or they're listening, crying, laying in bed, overwhelmed, or hiding in a bathroom, trying to just breathe through anxiety, maybe they'll feel a little less alone. And maybe that's enough. Honestly, I think it is. I think sometimes the most healing thing in the world is just knowing you're not alone in it. That the feelings you're ashamed of are the ones you think no one else, or, the ones you think no one else has, those are actually the most universal human feelings there are. Fear, shame, grief, longing, the desperate need to be loved and understood. We all have that, every single one of us. And maybe if we talked about it more, we'd all feel a little lighter. So thank you for being here with me today. This is just the beginning. You got this.